Everybody, it's Tattoo Viking come to you from Anvil Ink and Art, located here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, home of the amazing Fort Bragg, one of the largest military bases located on the eastern coast. Today we're going to talk to you about tattoo pricing. I know a lot of you come in, you know what I mean? Sometimes you want to get a tattoo and it's out of your price range. Now I'm going to tell you why our prices are the way that they are. We price our tattoos based on the size of the tattoo, the location of the body, and like the detail that's going into the tattoo, what type of style it is. Sometimes, American traditional might be less than hyper-realism. Just like neo-traditional is going to be a different price than something that's black and gray. How many colors are going into it? The skill level of the artist. All of those things get taken into account when we price a tattoo. Now, if you come into the shop and your price range is, let's say, $300, and we quote you for a tattoo that's $200 or for $600, right? Obviously that's out of your price range, and sometimes that can throw us back. Now, if you in turn get an attitude with us or tell us that our prices are too steep or we're charging out, too much, then, you're setting a tone right off the bat that you're saying that we're not worth it. Now, the reality is that for tattoo artists, right, we charge based on skill level and we charge based on what's going into it. A lot of times, people say, oh, I've got a buddy down the street, he can do it cheap. Or I've got a buddy at this house, he can do it. Or there's a shop over here that can do it cheaper. The reality is just because you're getting it cheaper does not mean you're getting a better tattoo. One thing I can't stress enough, check out the portfolios. Take a look at the reviews online. Take a look at their portfolios. See if you like their work. Talk to the artist. You might have this super awesome artist and you're like, man, this guy's a dick. I don't want to work with him. Likewise, the artist might just not vibe with you. Or you might be a dick and the artist just doesn't want to work with you. But it's better to come in and tell us, hey, look, this is my price range. This is what I'm looking to get. Can you work with me? Then we know, kind of like what you're working with and where we're standing. Maybe we can come to an arrangement. Maybe we can work it out in payments or do it in sessions. All of these things can be figured out, but you got to let us know. But if you catch an attitude and you say that's too much, that's too expensive, we get it, but don't be rude about it. One thing that, people typically get upset about with the tattoos is that it's too expensive. But the reality is, if you go to McDonald's and you have people that aren't trained, they're not chefs, they're making an assembly line burger. Yeah, you can get that thing all day long for $1.06. That's not a good burger. Now, if you go to like a nice fancy restaurant and you're getting this primo quality steak, and you've got this like trained chef in there cooking it or, whatever, that's going to be more money. Now, everybody's willing to spend money on food or money on, whatever. You're going to poop it out in like 8 hours. So with a tattoo, that thing is permanent. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. Spend money to get quality, I'm not saying that everybody that's cheaper is doing crap work. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am telling you is you need to check the portfolios. You need to make sure you've got a good relationship with that artist. There is 1,000 ways to go about it. The biggest thing is just don't be a dick. Nobody wants to get tattooed by a dick. Just like tattoo artists don't want to work with somebody that's going to be a dick to them about their pricing. A lot of times people think that, tattoo artists like, oh, that's going to be $100. And they're like, oh, it's only going to take 30 minutes. Maybe. But the reality is that you're not necessarily paying just for the tattoo. You're paying for the years that artist has put in. You're paying for the quality of products that he's using to ensure that your tattoo is being put in not only, sanitary, but is up to health code and is using quality inks and quality needles. You're paying for the time that he has put in to just develop this craft, to be good at it. You don't go to a tailor and who's been doing it for like, 30 years or whatever and be like, yo, I want the suit for $50. You're going to get less than a Walmart suit. If you want good quality stuff, it costs money. Suits, clothes, shoes, whatever, it all wears out. But the tattoo, that's there for your lifetime. It is the only single thing that you will take to the grave. Spend money on it. It's going to last you a lifetime. It's got to be done right. It's worth spending the extra money on. When the artist charges, $100, right? Typically, artists don't get the full amount that they tattoo for. The shop gets a portion, right? And that covers things like the stencil paper, the electric, the rent, the paper towels, the use of the thermofax, printer paper, copier ink, supplies to the shop, the water, the heat, the AC, whatever, right? So the shop's got overhead, so they get a portion of it. And then the artist gets a portion of it. Out of the artist cut, they've got to provide like their ink, their needles, their machines, any extra stuff that the shop doesn't provide. Now, some shops, they provide more than others. Others, they provide less. The reality is that, just because the artist gives you a price doesn't mean that that's what the artist is getting paid. So, sometimes, people come in and they think, oh, well, you guys are making all this money. It's not really how it works. I mean, we've got bills too, So out of that, the shop has bills, the artist has bills, we've got families. I've got kids, I know Joey's got kids, Mel's got kids, everybody that works in the shop typically has kids. Not all, but a lot. So when you come in, you got to remember that you're paying for the skill and the craftsmanship that goes into it. So what it comes down to is just remember that we're people too, and we want your tattooing experience to be a wonderful one that makes you want to come back. And just like you guys want an awesome tattoo and you don't want to go broke doing it, we get it. Things are expensive. Tattoos are, just because we want them doesn't mean we necessarily need them, We're willing to work with people most times. But I mean, you got to approach it in a way that isn't like trying to degrade us, saying that our work isn't worth it. If you don't feel that it's worth it, that's cool. By all means, but you don't have to be rude about it. Just like we don't want us to be rude to you, saying that, oh, we don't like this design or whatever. I mean, whatever the case is. But one thing I cannot stress enough, guys, is simply meet with your artist, talk with them, get to know them, check out their work, make sure it's what you like, make sure that the artist is going to vibe with you. I mean, you're going to be sitting in a chair with these people sometimes for 30 minutes, sometimes for several days, depending on how large the tattoo, how many hours, and how many sessions go into it. All right, just remember that it's not always the same price. That's what's, in our heads. Likewise, it's not always the same price that's going to be in your guys' heads, because, we have to account for all the things that go into it based on the years of experience that we have. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Everybody's staying safe out there. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions about the tattoo industry, we will do everything we can to answer them accordingly. You can leave your comments in the section below. Share the video, like the video, follow us, check out our Facebook, Instagram, our webpage. It's all Anvil Ink and Art. Whether it's at .com, at Gmail, on Instagram, Facebook, it's all Anvil Ink and Art, lowercase. I hope to hear from you guys soon, and we hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good one, guys.